Okay, I bought a Twusch porcelain insert for my Theford C200 toilet. The van's the 2002, and so far the bowl's in reasonably good nick. It doesn't really need this thing, but I want to try it anyway because I think it might make it cleaning easier. It comes double box. This is the inner box. I've got the Twusch and the installation kit, which is that. Nicely, all the packaging is paper, which is great. No foam. A couple of little chocolates there. What have we got there? Card, sort of basic installation instructions, and a pointer to. No, that's it. I was going to say pointer to an online install. More advertising. Yeah, really basic installation. There are videos online. A lot of them are German though. So that doesn't help me because I don't speak German. More packaging. So yeah, I like the packaging. I've seen that they weigh 750 grams, so it's quite light. Decent quality, proper porcelain. It's good. I was going to measure I'm going to measure the aperture there. Okay, I just measured the aperture, the distance from there to there, the inner dimension. The Theford dimension, 67 millimeters. Quite hard to get the tape measure there, but it's around about that. This is 60, so it's not much smaller. I think if you're doing stuff that's bigger than that, you've got a problem and you might need to go to the hospital. So I think the added slipperiness of the porcelain is going to really aid stuff slipping down there. One of the biggest problems is the flush is not that strong and doesn't really go all around the bowl, unless I found if you've got your solar is working, that's charging and your voltage is up a bit, so the pump works a bit stronger. That seems to help. Yeah, so let's see. Get all this rubbish out of the way. Oh, roll of toilet paper included too. Now, it's a bit of a squishy in here. Probably the easiest way to handle it. I've cleaned the bowl already, so it was quite clean. Yeah, it doesn't fit as. Okay. So there's about a 2 millimeter, sometimes 3 millimeter gap around the edge. That back edge is down about maybe 2 millimeters, and at the front it's down quite a bit more. It's about almost 10 millimeters. So that's, yeah, it doesn't fit as well as some I've seen online. I actually have two Heimers, one in the UK and one in Australia. This is the UK one. I'm Australian, as you might be able to tell by the accent. The one in the Australia is a 1996, and I got a Twusch for that too, because that bowl is quite a bit more yellowed and a bit scratched up. That really needs something done about it. And the one in that was a C2 I think, or C4 toilet, a bit older, and that fits a little bit better. I mean, it's not that it doesn't fit, it's just that there's a higher, the distance between there and there is about 10 millimeters at the front, and what would it be there? 2 or 3 there. There's still enough room to put in the silicone. It's just not even all the way around, but that's fine. Should be fine. Now, the way I've seen quite a few videos, German videos of people installing it. Some people just drop it in like that and silicone around here from above. Other people put heaps on the rim, there where my thumb is, quite a big dollop all the way around, and others put a few dollops sort of on the body of it, a bit lower down, which I think isn't a bad idea. And I did see one person mention they put it around the lower rim. I'm not sure how they got it there, maybe from beneath, or yeah, I don't know, but I don't know if I'll do that. Yeah, so you've got to rotate it until it sits at the best What? Because if you have it cranked it too far, you get a gap like that. I mean, that's exaggerated, but just get it to the position where it works nicely. Yeah. Okay, so what's in the installation kit? Get rid of the chocolate. I think the chocolate's actually compound chocolate, so I ate the ones in the Australian kit. Okay, so in the bag, I'm going to do this with one hand. Okay. I mean, if you've watched videos, you would have seen this. A pair of nitrile gloves, a microfiber cloth. It's quite a fine grained, well, if you could call it grain, nap microfiber. This is the silicone that seals the bowl. It's 100 grams. It's a sanitary, like high quality. I've looked it up online, and it's like about almost 20 pounds or 20 euros. So that's a lot for that amount of silicone. This stuff is the cleaner, and it's two-part thing: cleaner and protection. Makes it slippery, basically. Now, this is only a small amount. I do wish they would give you the option of a bigger amount. This is 50 mils. I've looked it up online. This is about like £3.50. It's quite cheap. So I would like the option to get, 250 mils, maybe even half a litre, because you really need to keep using this. I'm not sure how often, but you apply it every now and then. Helps make it more slippery. So I would, I'll have to go and buy that again. And for me to buy stuff online in Europe is quite difficult because I'm only here as a tourist. So I would have liked, I'd pay an extra, even £10 to get a big bottle of that. Just some like alcohol-y swab cleanery things. And these like lightweight timber spatula things for smoothing out the silicone. I was wondering if these are, I mean, they're quite smooth, but I was wondering if, because they're timber, they're going to have a grain, so that will leave a grain on the silicone finish, which is just an extra thing to gather some schmutz, as the Germans call it. Great word. So I was wondering if you might be better off getting some sort of plastic thing, or use the wet finger or wet glove technique to get a really smooth finish on the silicone, so that you get the least amount of possibility of muck growing on the silicone, because that was one of people's concerns, was how long the silicone would last before it got grotty. So that's what you get. Well, not much really. I mean, that's almost £20. That's £3.50. So it's within the cost of the kit. I think it was £20 more than just the insert. So it's worth buying. But yeah, give us more of that, please, or give us the option to get more of that. Okay, I've installed my Twusch in my Theford seat. What is it? 200 toilet in this van. It's pretty good. Haven't actually tried it in action yet, but installation wise, a little bit of a problem with this one. As you may have said, I've got two vans, two of these toilets, two Twusch. This one, the back edge was fine. It's about maybe 3 millimeters down, this little mole gap between, but at the front edge here, it was down about 10 millimeters, which I felt was a bit much, and it left quite a bit of a slope for the silicone to fill in. And I put a bit of bubble wrap actually under here to try and lift it up a bit to make that gap less of a slope, to make it easier to silicone basically, which it was a bit easier, but it was still quite tricky, and the silicone just started to go off as I was trying to smooth it out and get rid of the excess. So not as beautiful a finish on the siliconing as I would have liked, but it's still all right. So it'll remain to be seen how much muck gets collected in the slightly rougher finish of the silicone. It looks like a home toilet, you know, the finish, it's good. Very slightly smaller aperture, but yeah, it looks great. The spray seems to make it slipperier. It's a bit hard to tell. I haven't used it yet, so I've been waiting for it to dry. So we'll see. Okay, I've installed the Twusch in my Australian Heimer, a C2 Theford toilet. I've got the refresh kit with a new seat and cassette. So that's good to go with the Twusch. Yeah, as I said, this one fit a lot better, and it was easier to do the silicone join. Even so, it started setting before I'd smoothed it out, so I've got a few little rough bits there. You have to be quick. It's like maybe 10 minutes, perhaps. And I found the spatulas, you'd run the spatula around and that would push silicone off to the sides. So then you'd be trying to clean here and here. I've seen some people put dishwashing liquid on the plastic top, that rim there, to stop the silicone sticking to it. But you'd have to be careful, of course, not to go down where the silicone is supposed to stick. But yeah, that's probably a good technique. And this one also, I put silicone in the outer edge of this lower edge, put it on before I inserted, and then got in, took the cassette out and got in underneath and smoothed it out. I think that's worth doing. That was good, because then if you're a person who likes to do your business with the shutter closed, which I think's bad, but some people do, the stuff can get in up in between the Twusch and the plastic, and that would grow things. So it's probably not a bad idea to silicone that. But yeah, this one fit better. It's good. It's much better. This is what I was expecting. I'm a little bit annoyed with the one in the UK. They gave me 10% off any future purchases, but I don't need to. I've already bought two. I only got 2 motorhomes. So yeah. Another thing too, like how it actually performs, it looks good. I mean, you're not going to spend that much money just for appearance, although this toilet was quite yellowed and bad. Performance, I wouldn't say it's phenomenally more slippery. How often I use the nano spray stuff, maybe once every few weeks. Maybe I need to use that more often. But again, that's the reason why you'd want to get more. Now, I reckon that nano stuff is just like a ceramic polish kind of thing. And so I reckon you could use some ceramic spray that's meant for a car. And you can get a spray pack of that from Theford for, you know, £20 or something. Because porcelain's not going to, that'd be fine, I think. Not guaranteeing it, but that's what I suspect.